Hello and welcome to the Money Pages podcast. I'm here today with Laura Tovar, who is Head of Marketing and Communications at Pure Cremation, and we're going to be talking about taking out a funeral plan. Hello Laura, welcome to the studio.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So I want to find out a little bit more about Pure Cremation. Is it a funeral plan provider? Is that what you do?
Yeah, that's exactly right. At Pure, we allow you to plan ahead. Wow. So somebody can take out a funeral plan, which is a direct cremation with us, and it's a dignified alternative to a traditional funeral.
Right, okay. How does what Pure Cremation does differ to another funeral plan provider, for example?
Sure. Well, we only provide pure cremations, direct cremations. We don't provide any other funeral plans. So that is whereby a pure cremation takes place and there is no attended service at the crematorium, and so that means that all the costs such as a celebrant or flowers or hearses, they're not included because you don't have to pay for all of those. What Pure does is it allows somebody to plan ahead, so they can take out a plan at today's prices, and we know now that a traditional basic funeral can cost in excess of £4,000, and they can take out a pure cremation funeral plan with us at today's prices. That will never go up. There's no hidden costs. There's no difficult questions or anything like that, and they're covered from day one.
Right, okay. And how far in advance might people consider taking them out? What kind of age are people when they start looking into this?
Yeah, it's really interesting. Well, our plan is available from 18 plus. However, the majority of our audiences are over 60. I would say the majority are probably about 70, yes, when they start to think about things. When people start to have those conversations at home, you know, with family and loved ones, often it will come up that they don't necessarily want what they've done previously. I've been lucky enough to just interview some of our customers actually, and they've all different kinds of motivations for some of our customers, all different kinds of circumstances, and often it will come up that they really do not want to leave either a financial stress behind or be a burden in terms of someone having to organise that for them. And it's often triggered by having to organise someone else's funeral, which can be quite stressful at such a vulnerable time.
Yeah, because when we were talking before, you said everybody will have a funeral, but not everyone will want their family to pay for that funeral. So I expect for lots of families it suddenly happens and they've got all the stress of, you know, dealing with the loss of a loved one, and then to then have the cost and the organisation on top.
And often, you know, traditionally, we would go to the high street funeral director at the end of our road and let them organise it all for us. And I guess when you're in that kind of vulnerable position, that's when the add-ons can start to add up. So flowers, extras, this and that, etc. So sure. I think a lot of our customers want to do it so that they don't have anything to leave for anyone to organise when they've gone.
And I'm quite interested to understand how the direct cremation process works. So from the beginning, from when somebody, you know, looks on your website and makes the initial payment to right through to the very end of the process, can you explain what would happen?
Sure. So if somebody's interested in that style of farewell, they can go to our website, or they can phone one of our really, really friendly care assistants who will talk them through the whole process, which is really lovely. And it can be done in moments, absolutely, a few moments, and it can be done. That we'll ask that person for a nominated representative, which it can be your GP, it could be your neighbour, it could be a friend or a family member, and it's one phone call. All of our customers, again, in the interviews that I've been lucky enough to just do, cannot get over how simple the process is. It's been really lovely for them to not have any stress involved. One phone call, literally one phone call, and you have the same dedicated person talking to you the whole time. They will talk you through the whole process, let you know when things are happening, keep you updated on all fronts. And obviously our Pure private ambulances, you may have seen some going around. I'd never seen any until I started working there, and now I work there, I see them around.
You notice them everywhere.
Yeah, exactly that. So they're They're on call 24/7.
Okay.
Just one of the customers that I spoke to last week, she actually had to make that call on New Year's Day, and they were there straight away. And as soon as somebody comes into our care and they are laid to rest in a solid wood, eco-friendly coffin, where they're laid to rest, and then we have a unique service whereby we have a ceramic disc that is numbered at the same time, and that also lays with the person in the coffin. And the beauty of the ceramic disc is that it survives the entire cremation process. So it is Pure's unique way of ashes identification. So that just gives that extra level of assurance and reassurance for our customers. The staff at the crematorium are just, I was lucky enough to speak to one of the crematorium managers not that long ago, and she, at the level of care, she just blew me away with the level of care. It's each and every cremation is completely individual. One cremation manager will stay with each individual. They they talk to them as as they're removing jewellery. It's just a really, really lovely process, and they feel absolutely privileged to be working in that caring environment. So once the cremation has been performed, the ceramic disc is included with their ashes, and they are hand delivered by one of our drivers back to the next of kin in one of our lovely biodegradable urns. And some people choose to bury those urns. They are biodegradable, and those drivers, those dedicated drivers, they do a job like nobody else, because, and again, a lot of our customers do always cite them on our reviews. They will stay with the person. They will have a cup of tea, stay with them until they're absolutely fine, when they return the ashes. And then what happens then is the family or loved ones, they have the time and the space to then choose a much more personal or fitting send-off. Okay. So it doesn't all have to happen straight away. Their loved one's ashes will be returned within a couple of weeks, and so they can arrange whatever send-off that they like then. So
yeah, because we were talking about this before you came, and we were saying how lots of people seem to be moving away from the traditional funeral now. They want to do something maybe a bit more personal. So I guess, does Pure Cremation give people the flexibility to do that?
Exactly. And the freedom, what it affords you is the freedom and time. That I think when this happens, you're caught up in this whirlwind of getting everything organised, getting everything arranged, getting family members from overseas, here, there and everywhere to attend a traditional funeral, whereas this just affords you that time to actually put into motion what celebration of life or what personal send-off, a much more fitting send-off. I actually just spoke with one of our customers whose father had a plan with us, so she'd gone through it from the relative side of things, and she had her reservations because he was a religious man, so she had her reservations and wondered why he would want to do such a thing, and she was worried that people might think that they were not giving him a proper send-off, or that they they didn't have time to grieve collectively. And she said I couldn't have been more wrong. It was exactly the reverse. It allowed us to do that, to have time, have space, collectively grieve. And then they hired out her dad's village hall. They had a religious service, they had dogs in there, they had the kids in there, they had all of the women from his church bought cakes. She said it was a whole community day. It wasn't just that 40 minutes that you tend to get in a rather sombre crematorium where you're in and you're out. And she said, as sad as it was, she said it was one of the most memorable days of her life.
Wow.
Yeah. So it can be really powerful for people that want an alternative.
Well, it's a big life event, isn't it? And you're looking back on someone's life. And
exactly that.
Do you get any other sort of customer? You must get loads of customer feedback.
People leave lots of reviews. We've got over 20,000 reviews on Trustpilot, and some of the stories that people tell are just wonderful. You know, other people would just prefer for their children to go off on a holiday, or just raise a glass to them on the beach, and you know, we have a lot of individuals that might not have anyone around for when the time comes. So some of our customers just prefer to have absolutely no fuss, a simple process, and absolutely leaving none of that stress or burden to anyone else. And I think they feel safe in the knowledge that it's all been taken care of as well. So
absolutely,
yeah, I would say all of our customers are motivated by different things, whether it's because they're on their own or whether they want a completely huge send-off in other ways. So but what it does do is mean you don't have to pay the funeral director's fees and put it towards whatever you prefer, really.
What would a customer do, for example, if they weren't sure about what they wanted to do with the ashes or something along those lines? Is there help for them or somewhere they can go?
Well, our options, our customers' options are obviously we hand deliver the loved one's ashes back to the next of kin. So they can then choose to do whatever they like with those. A lot of our customers just choose to have their ashes scattered in our garden of remembrance in our own crematorium. Beautiful grounds, really mature, absolutely stunning. And then the family, if they choose to, can visit those whenever they like. But in terms of when the ashes are returned, we've actually just developed a celebration of life guide, because a lot of our customers have talked to us about that as well. Oh, it would have been nice to have a few ideas what to do, where we could possibly scatter mum or dad, etc. So we've just produced this guide on lots of ways that you could potentially celebrate someone's life.
Now, you've obviously had a decent amount of customer feedback because you've been nominated for a Personal Finance Award this year. So congratulations to that.
Thank you.
Why should people vote for Pure Cremation?
Aside from it being that wonderful thing that it allows you to plan ahead, I have to say, and this is probably a personal note, it's the level of care. I haven't been with Pure Cremation that long, but I have worked in the financial services industry for quite a while. I've never seen anything quite like it. The staff really, absolutely, genuinely believe it is a privilege to work in this profession. And it's that personal level of care and that quality of reassurance that having our own crematorium, which most other providers don't, allows us to just to offer that level of care. It is really quite something, and I think it's an affordable alternative, you know, that consumers are now tapping into. So I think it's a really helpful thing to know that there is this alternative.
I think a lot of people will, you know, be really interested to learn more about Pure Cremation after listening to this. How can people find out more about you and how can they get in touch?
I mean, they can go on our website, which has recently been redone, or they can give us a call. And you know, just search online for Pure Cremation. We're pretty high ranking, like I say, and all of our information is there. One thing that does do very well for us is we have a funeral plan and funeral guide, which we often send out to people. So there's lots of information in that people can request online, and then give one of our team a call for them to talk you through it. Often our customers name check the person that they've spoken to on the phone. Yeah, just, you know, Mikey or what have you, just because they're really good at putting people at ease. It's not an easy topic to discuss, but they put people at ease, and, you know, you can pay in a one-off instalment, or you can, one-off lump sum, or you can pay in instalments from 1 year to 10 years, whichever's easiest. We do have quite a few people paying on instalments, and they just know it's done. But yeah, I mean, give us a call or go to our website.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, thank you ever so much for coming in and speaking to me. It's been a real pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.